Thank you very much, everybody, for joining today. We appreciate it, and we've had a great, start to the SaaStock event, and we really appreciated everybody that we've spoken to. So like I said, Incipient is here to supply solutions to address today's challenges while capitalizing on the opportunities for the future. We really believe that there are three key democratic processes to the whole cycle that really make the use of technology and the use of product development and software development to be very effective and mean. That's going to range from people, processes, and technology. People is alignment of experience and the perspective and the creativity. The process is the democratizing the human potential and the ideas. And of course, technology is going to be leveraging the domain expertise to align the technology and the client needs as well. What we have found from what our clients have said is, here are some case studies. They've said their ability to deliver really exceeded all their expectations, right? They're good at achieving the end results, right? As you see, these are all case studies, right? And of course, we all see these things all the time as well. So this is nothing new in regards to how and what customers say about people. But the million-dollar question that we always tell our customers to look at is not the reviews of the partner that they're choosing, but more so understand at the deep root level of what makes them different, right? What are they looking at and how do they approach digital transformation? So in our community and in our organization and our team, our employees, our customers, prospects, what we tell everybody that we engage with is really understand what digital transformation means to them. And for us, the way we understand it and the way we perceive it and the way we execute on it is it ranges with two concepts. And we like to keep a math formula very, very simple. We say product development plus software development is what equals digital transformation. So we like to keep it very simple because at the end of the day, it is. And product development is what we call the heart, right? It is the unspoken aspects, the unspoken needs that everybody looks to have, but it's really hard to explain and articulate and communicate to your partner on what that really means. So that ranges from everything from idea generation and evaluating a concept, developing the market or growth strategy, market testing, commercializing the software, right? And most importantly than anything else of what is not listed here, but is super critical that we always like to mention is empathy, right? You must have empathy towards your end users. If you are a mobile app fintech company, you're a health tech company, you're a legal tech company, any kind of product or startup or venture company you must have user empathy, not towards your customer, but your customer's customer as well, right? That's the key behind product development. You must use the heart just as much as you use the brains. And the brains is what software development is successful through, right? Software development is engaging a project, engaging a initiative with the use of having really clear requirements, right? Detailed out requirements that ranges from preconditions, post-conditions, formatting of date, time, right? All these different things are very critical. Now, the other key aspect of software development is making sure that the team that is assembled and the resources that are allocated on a project are people who have great domain expertise. We will never and ever put a developer on a project that has never done at least 5 to 6 projects for that customer in that industry prior to their engagement. That is very important to us because as a software engineer, the knowledge that you're able to bring to the table is going to be very, very critical, right? You can tell a developer or a programmer to get you a coffee from Dunkin' Donuts and they'll get it for you. But if you don't tell them, hey, please bring the coffee back, a programmer will not, because you only told them to get you a coffee. A software developer is one that will understand, yes, I was not told to bring it back, but it's the obvious next step. So that's why we want to make sure we employ developers and not programmers. And most importantly, we want to make sure the developers have subject matter expertise, so this way they can be very effective in their work. Now, how do we do it, right? This is all great, sounds great, but the real question is, how do you put this into motion? So there's 3 items we follow, 3 steps: identification, brainstorm, and implementation. So identification is the process of finding loopholes or pain areas in current systems to identify the exact problem and what needs to be done. It's really hyper-focused on the current system or the process or enabling the simpler, cost-effective, and end-user-centric solution. So that really means understanding what is it that the end user wishes, whether it's a consumer or a business user. What are they saying? Oh, I really wish this could do this, right? Or if I could get this done from the software in an automated way, that would save me time and it would save me years, right? So you have to discuss, you have to question, you have to interact to really understand this, and you must read in between the lines with experience and know-how. So now the question is identification, right? What's a real case study to that? So the online ordering process for one of our customers is a very hectic process, and they must execute several different functions simultaneously. They have to use orders, payments, tracking, invoicing, delivery confirmation. So we've used some AI solutions and machine learning solutions as well to help them categorize, structure, and bring formality to the process without having to define each and every step, right? And we've understood all the what if scenarios. We understood, okay, how do you interact with multiple entities, right? The service providers, delivery drivers, the app support, everything, right? So the question is, how did we take all these different case studies and all of these different entities and all these different types of users, right, in a meaningful way and bring them to a point of being able to work together and facilitate the application use case in a meaningful way, right? So we help the customer to understand and order the product and then relax, right? It's very key that the user feels that they're at home, they're not understanding how to use a brain surgeon tool, right, or something that's really complex, right? We help them understand that we transform the process to responsibly shift from customer to service provider. So this way the customer has to do nothing except enjoy what they order, right? So now when we come to brainstorming is a collaborative technique in which we help find ways to have a conclusion for a specific problem by gathering a list of ideas that are spontaneously contributed by its members, right? So we want to help them do initiative planning before we even talk about the requirements. Requirements is often the side effect of what customers wish to do, but it often gets translated and misconstrued by many thoughts, many different influence factors, and of course, many different ideas, right? So it's cost-effective solutions, right? Easy to use and simplified solutions, technically feasible and competitive market solutions. These are all key things that we help to build a golden standard, right? So now the question is, for the brainstorming aspect, what is a real life case study and how we help somebody achieve this, right? So there's a client who had no systems to manage the orders, to manage the reports, inventory, nothing. So it was costing them time, money, and efforts, which are three dangerous things that there is to cost somebody. So we help them brainstorm, we help them understand an operational, feasible way, we help them implement a go-to-market strategy right away while having total control and flexibility to the client. So these were some very key processes that we were able to follow that help them really understand, okay, if you do this, right, this will happen. And we help them because our developers and our teammates understood the space so well that our customer felt that we were a peer of theirs in their business, and not that they felt like, oh, we're working with a development team. Oh my God, here we go, type of thing. That's very important for your customer to feel that. They don't feel like they're talking to a peer, but they feel like they're talking to an engineering company. You should really identify and focus if you have the right people on your team. Otherwise, your customer is going to do a whole lot of explaining. Now, implementation. This is where we focus and enjoy and love our work, because this is where we get to see the rubber hit the road. So the process of putting a decision or a plan into effect, right? It's very critical. It's very much focused around if you have a fight or flight strategy. If you have a fight strategy, you're going to be constantly in the woods and you're going to be fighting against things that you can't control. But if you have a flight strategy, you're going to understand where and what the customer is looking for and how you can use identification and brainstorming, right, to really put the plan into action, because the identification and brainstorming is only half the battle. You must be able to implement what you say you do. Otherwise, there is no focus around it. And of course, with that being said, the overall implementation structure is very much focused, around being fast, speedy, expedient, integrated, aesthetically, must feel like a wow factor to the solution. Otherwise, the users won't be excited and they'll feel they're using the same system that they were before, or a consumer feels like, oh, maybe there must be a better app out there than what I have right now. User friendliness, technically advanced, but are all very critical things. People often say the best leaders are people not that can explain the most complex thing, but people that understand the most complex thing, but can make it into a very simplistic, articulated ability, right? That's what we're going to focus on as technologists. Now, Incipient, right? What do we really do, right? We really help our customers in idea formation, conceptualizing, and really making sure we use strong UI, UX principles in our work, because at the end of the day, no matter how pretty the code is or how architecturally sound it is or how scalable it is, we must be able to focus on bringing the experience to the customer. But make no mistake, we also want to focus very much on using our tech geeks and all of our fantastic engineers on our team to really focus in on building the best software possible, whether it's open source platform software code, or if it's a commercial software, or it's building a product on a platform or on a cloud technology like Azure or AWS. We want to make sure we use people that are super interested in their field of work and not just great at what they do. So with that said, I can take any questions. And of course, please do visit our website, www.incipientcorp.com. And we are here to answer any questions and anything anybody has. We want to make sure we answer as many questions as possible.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. That was a lot of information all there. So yeah, really enjoyed it, especially towards the brain and the heart analogy around kind of product development and customer experience. Just speaking for myself, so often these days, my go-to is the kind of the technical solution. So it's just really good to kind of constantly bear in mind the human and emotional element.
It's very true. It's very true. And you make a really great point, because what also happens a lot of times is, customers are, all of our customers have CTOs, they have fantastic leadership teams, right? But leadership people, what they don't want to spend their time in focusing on is educating, right? People do not like spending time in educating. That's not why people pay you. It's not why they're coming to you. They're coming to you because they are in hope that you have the domain expertise and understand their industry really well. So if you are able to have great engineering talent, which nowadays everybody does, right? There's not one firm that's in the top 15 that doesn't have great engineering, right? So that's why you want to make sure you have domain experts, you have industry experts, so that way when the project comes onto your lap, you're looking at the project from a very user-centric perspective and customer's perspective as well. So that helps you be very on top of your A game.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for that, Amit.